I have been decluttering for 9 years, and I know that you would think that I have nothing left to declutter. But nay, there is always things that are entering our homes that we need to get rid of. So today I'm going to walk you through my process that even after being on a decluttering journey for this long, there is still stuff to get rid of, and some tricks and tips that I use to make sure that we only keep the things that we really love. We are starting in my girls' closet. It has gotten a little haphazard, and so I'm going to work through it with them. Now, if you are going to do any sort of decluttering with your kids, I highly recommend that you make sure that everybody is in a good mood when you start. And I call this a bougie declutter, where you're going to be a little bit extra. So I bring snacks, I bring a good attitude, and then when we get to going through the stuff, I try and make it as fun as possible. One of the hardest things about decluttering is actually just getting started. So if you are helping someone declutter, being that person who jumps in and starts showing them items and seeing if they want to keep them or let go of them is a great place to just push through those initial barriers to decluttering. This is also a great way of working through those initial, no, I want to keep it. This is a great place for you to start asking those deeper questions. How long has it been since you worn it? Are you sure it still fits? Do you still love it? It just helps to push people that little bit further, pulling out a whole heap of like items so that they're making decisions knowing how many things that they've got. You can have someone else do this with you if you're decluttering your own home, but these are some of my favorite ways to help people out. I also try and make sure that I really listen to what my kids are telling me. If it isn't something that they love to wear, I would rather just have it out of our closets. And the same can be said for if things need to be replaced. So if something's too small or it's not something they love, I would rather it just be gone straight away, knowing that I need to replace it, than keep it there knowing they're never going to wear it. I'm a huge fan of decluttering as you go, so doing those day-to-day tasks and getting rid of items as you find them. But there is something to be said of just going through a whole room, a whole cupboard, a whole drawer, and really having a look at it. And if you have the time, it's great to just look at what's there. So for example, in the top of my girls' closet is where I keep some of our spare books. And so while I was already in there, I went through, quickly sorted what we still use all the time, and then it meant that the whole closet was left refreshed, and I know when I go back the whole thing has already been done. This is just a little reminder of what it looked like before and now after. They have so much more space, and we actually wrote down a little list of those items that they do need to flesh out their wardrobe, so when we're out shopping we know exactly what we need. Now we're moving in to my littlest boy's room. This is also kind of where we keep all of our homeschool supplies, and it's where most of our toys live. So it is a space that I like to touch fairly frequently, and I'm pulling absolutely everything out. Now this is not something you have to do every single time. And like I said before, I'm all about those daily declutters, but there is something about just going through a whole section of stuff, having a look what you've got, getting it a little bit better organized. As always, guys, decluttering is not just the stuff that goes to the donation bin. It is finding new homes, it is using stuff up, it is making sure that the things you need are where you need it, and that is exactly what this room needed. to toys, putting like items together is the best advice I can give you, and trying to go through and have a look at how many of each type of item you have, if there's anything broken, if there's anything that you're not playing with. That's so much easier to ascertain when you've got those like toys all together. If you are book lovers like us, you might have this constant shift of books that you own and books that have come from the library, and I really like to keep them separated but in the same location. So this is about half of the amount that we would normally have from the library, just because we are on a vacation holiday here in Australia at the moment. But having a space where you can put all of those library books when you get home has been an absolute game changer for me. Something that often happens when we're decluttering is we find jobs that we need to get done. So if there is something that you can do to get an item to be where it's supposed to be, like I'm just putting up this little moonlight, that is still decluttering and it still totally counts. This is my decluttered pile, and one of my top tips is, if you struggle maybe with staying motivated decluttering, is to have a look at just how much you've decluttered. Put it out on a table, because when it's all bagged up, it's really not a good representation of how much you've done. This also allows your family to know that you're decluttering, so if they've got anything to add to it, they totally can. Another thing that I like to do is, I'm actually not decluttering these coat hangers or these storage bins, but just like if you're losing weight, sometimes you go by the number on the scale and other times you go by other markers. Like if you're feeling better within yourself, or if your clothes are a little looser, or if you've lost some inches. And these items are a representation of that. These are things that were hanging up in your closet that now aren't. These are empty storage bins that you no longer need to use in those areas. You may well use them somewhere else, but they are that representation of what you've done. Because decluttering is not just the stuff that's going to the donation bin, it's also the stuff that has found new homes, that you've used up, that your kids have reclaimed and started playing with again. Or it's those areas where you've reorganized and you can fit it into half the amount of space. It all totally counts, and no matter how long you're on your decluttering journey, it really is not about the amount of things you have in your home or the amount of things that you donate. It's about how well your home functions and how well you feel in your home. No one else should be the marker except for you.